He's leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when he'll be back again. This is La Jetée.
Peter, Paul, and Mary, I feel like have a bad stigma, like for being lame. I remember in Meet the Parents, like the whole thing is Robert De Niro likes them and he's like such a square or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, cool.
I love
cool people like them.
Yeah.
You know that song, Where Have All the Flowers Gone?
No.
Oh, I sing it all the time in the car when I'm by myself. All the time. Their stuff is kind of easy to sing, actually.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Seen and Heard. This is the podcast all about the Sight and Sound greatest films of all time list. I'm Greg.
I'm Jackie.
And we are about to wrap up the 2012 list because that's what we've been on this whole time. This is our penultimate film on that list.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we just have one more after this. So, yeah, this is Chris Marker's La Jetée.
So crazy.
Yeah. What number is this on the list?
Number 50.
Wow.
So
okay, right in the middle.
Right there. Yeah. And I assume our film next week will be also number 50?
I think so. So many ties. And if you don't know, if you're a newer listener, we've ping-ponged on this list. So we took one from the top, we took one from the bottom. We took the next one from the top and the next one from the bottom. So we are finishing in the middle of the 2012 critics list.
Yeah, and if you didn't know, there are a bunch of ties on this list.
It's kind of
We're
annoying.
Not sure why. And yes, next week's film is also number 50. So the last two films we are doing are technically ping-ponged. So
Right.
We're at 50 at the bottom, from the bottom.
Yeah. Once we finish next week's, which is Ugetsu, we're going to take a brief break. We're going to do a new thing. Instead of last year, we took like 4 months off. We don't want to do that again. We're busy. We have, other stuff beyond Seen and Heard that takes up our time and attention. So what we're going to do is do a block of episodes, take a month off, do another block of episodes, take a month off. So
right. And not just like a 1 month of episodes and then 1 month off. It would be like
3 or 4 months of episodes.
Like seasons, essentially.
Like seasons, even though we've never really broken it up that way. But this will be, so we'll just after next week's episode, we're going to take 1 month off, not 4.
No.
And then we'll be back.
Yeah.
And the exciting thing about that is we'll be coming back to the 2022 list. So we're going to go to the 2022 list and we're going to hit all the films ping-ponging that we haven't covered already from the 2012 list.
And we went through them before we started recording, and they are banger.
They're exciting.
After banger after banger.
A lot of newer films from the 21st century in there. And it's exciting. I'm very excited to do it.
Me too.
But before we get into Chris Marker this week, Jackie, what else have you been watching?
I saw My Dinner with Andre.
First time?
Yeah, the Louis Malle film. And everything I've seen of Louis Malle's, I've really liked. I think he's super interesting. Like, this movie is nothing like the other movies I've seen. And like, I had no idea that this was the actors playing like fictionalized versions of themselves and that both of the actors wrote the film. And just the fact that Louis Malle came in and was like, yeah, I'm going to direct this. Like, that's really cool to me. It's a full meal, no pun intended. It is. I love how just ballsy the movie is. Like, it is literally just dinner.
Yeah.
It's just dinner. It's so interesting. Do you like the film?
I do. And I feel like Andre Gregory for me is a style icon. Like I wish to be him. Like, with the sweater with the patches on the elbows and the whole sort of New York 70s professorial look.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And then Wallace
Shawn
is I like his outfit too. I like that he puts on a tie before he enters the restaurant. That's such a that was such a moment.
It's a lost thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm kind of surprised you like it though, Greg.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's just two guys talking.
What are you saying about me?
I feel like anytime this is overwritten. That's your favorite thing to say, I feel like.
Yeah, but overwritten as in over expository and too many things happening. I love a movie where it's just a conversation. I love Jim Jarmusch movies.
That's true. That's true. But this is like one location, one table, one conversation.
Oh, I'm into it. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's not like my favorite movie of all time, but I like it.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. And then I watched Talk to Her, the Almodovar film. I've been trying to cross a lot of his films off my list. And I just love him so much. Like his ability to balance like showy melodrama that's really fun and funny. And then like, bam, like genuine, authentic feelings just like sneak in there. And you're really moved, even though this whole thing has kind of been this crazy melodrama. So I think that he's just amazing.
He is.
But that's me. I'm telling you, I've been a bad cinephile.
Where's your card? Give me your card.
I've seen 2 films. It's so bad. I'm seeing Mickey 17 tonight, though.
Nice. I've seen a few. I've been on a movie watching streak. So I rewatched To Be or Not to Be. Oh my god!
Best movie ever.
That script is perfect.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
Perfect.
And just the pitch of that movie, the tone. It's amazing.
So good. I'm obsessed with that movie, and
I saw it like 10 years ago and didn't fully appreciate it. And then I saw it this time and I was like, dear God.
My favorite Lubitsch movie, I think. And it's just perfect.
It's pretty perfect.
Yeah.
I saw The Circus because we just did City Lights.
Yeah.
And I was like, The Circus is the last big Chaplin I haven't seen. And so I did The Circus and, it's pretty good. I don't know.
Like it more than City Lights?
Maybe. It's like 20-25 minutes shorter than City Lights. So in that sense, maybe I like it more. Actually, have you seen The Circus?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I won't give anything away, but I think it has my favorite ending for a Chaplin movie.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw this other movie called Through the Looking Glass, which I think is technically a porno. Directed by someone named Jonas Middleton from the 70s about this woman unraveling in this estate, and she goes up every night to look in the mirror and kind of look at herself, and then she gets sucked into the mirror. And I think it's technically made as a porno. There's certainly like hardcore scenes in there, but it's known as being the like pinnacle of like an artsy sort of, 70s porno. It was okay. I think I was expecting more from it. I think if you're going into it being like, oh, this is a porno, like you'd be like, oh, wow, they really like have high ambitions here. But if you go in expecting a great piece of cinema, I think it was worthwhile. It's definitely like a known movie. But lastly, this is the highlight of the week, besides To Be or Not to Be, which I'd seen before. First time watch, The Breaking Point. Okay, 1950, Michael Curtiz. It's based on the Hemingway book To Have and Have Not, which they had made before this with Bogart and Bacall.
Yeah.
So they made it before, which I haven't seen. But apparently everyone thinks that this version by Michael Curtiz from 1950 is much closer to the book and a better movie, but no one talks about this one.
Why?
I don't know, because I haven't seen the other version, but this one has John Garfield and Patricia Neal. Oh my God, Jackie, run.
Okay, I'll watch it.
It blew me away.
What's it called? Breaking Point?
The Breaking Point. So yeah, that's me. Anyway, should we get into this week's film?
Yes.
From 1962, this is Chris Marker's La Jetée.
La Jetée was released in 1962. It was written and directed by Chris Marker. Cinematography by Jean Chiabeau and Chris Marker. Music by Trevor Duncan. In a post-World War III Paris, survivors of the nuclear war live underground. The victors of the war, who speak German, rule over prisoners who they conduct scientific experiments on. The scientists are attempting to send a man into the past or future in search for the salvation of humanity. They choose a man who has an extremely clear and distinctive memory from his childhood. In the memory, He was watching planes take off at Orly Airport and remembers the face of a woman he saw shortly before witnessing a man being killed. He is sent into the past several times and starts a relationship with the woman. The captors then send him into the future, where he meets an advanced species of man who gives him a power plant with the capabilities to save humanity. Having done his job, he knows he will be executed. The humans of the future contact him and offer him an escape into their time, but he asks instead to be sent back to the time of his childhood. He is returned to the moment at the airport and sees the woman he now loves. But an assassin sent by his modern-day jailers is there as well and shoots him. He realizes, as he's dying, that the murder he witnessed as a child was his own. The film stars Davos Hanich as the man, Hélène Chatelain as the woman, and Jacques Ladoux as the experimenter. La Jetée is a short film told in still images. There is one shot of videography, the woman in bed for a moment, and that was all Chris Marker could afford. He rented a 35mm camera for one day, and everything else was stills. But even in that one day, don't you think he would have gotten a little more?
He might have gotten more and decided not
to use it, which I think makes it more effective.
I think so.
There's a nod to Vertigo in this film, the moment where the man and woman are looking at an ancient tree trunk. He also references that moment in Sans Soleil.
Mm-hmm.
There's a clip from Vertigo.
Yeah. Which had just come out 3 years before this movie. 4 years before this movie.
Crazy.
So it's like
I never realized that.
It's like us talking about Fast 10 or something, or Furious 10, whatever it is.
Wait, only 4 years, huh?
Yeah,
That's
that was
crazy.
58. This is 62.
The photos were optically printed. Do you know what an optical printer is?
Sort of.
It's basically... It's designed to copy motion picture film. So like there's a projector at one end and a camera on the other end. And then by running the film through the projector and re-photographing it with the camera, you get your copy. So it was used for special effects back in the day. I'm not entirely sure why he used it like that with this or how, but yeah. The name La Jetée comes from the French word jetée, which means jetty, which is the pier at Orly Airport that people used to watch planes take off from. The film won the Prix Jean Vigo for Best Short Film. That's a French film award. One feature and one short.
Based on the director of Jean Vigo, which we covered lots of lunch.
Yes. The film has been adapted to an opera. It served as the inspiration for David Bowie's Jump, They Say music video. And Terry Gilliam's 12 Monkeys has been called kind of a bigger remake of this film. And yeah, those are my specs. This is a short film. So expect a shorter episode, I guess.
Sometimes. Yeah, I guess so. Well, this film is so rich.
This film is rich. And I'm sure you can talk about it for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, it's such a cornerstone, too.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first for initial thoughts?
I probably saw this a few years ago.
Yeah.
I want to bring up, do you remember when we were talking about Greed? And I was like, this is a movie. I would just like to point out that this is a movie.
Because it's the director's intended vision?
Yes.
Okay.
Because with Greed, the problem is just because it's lost. And so there are a few still images that remain. Most of it is lost. And so there are a few still images that they use to like retell the parts that are lost. But it happens. So it's like half the movie. It's not like the Judy Garland Star is Born where it's like 2 scenes.
I've never seen that. I need to see it.
You should see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie is amazing. I mean, this movie is an amazing example of what you can do for no money. I think it's just a beautiful, like, left bank French new wave classic. Like, what more is there to say? As someone who loves to think about and like talk about the past and the present and their relationship and Halcyon, and I just love the way that this movie sits with me. Like, I love the way that, first of all, I love that I can just watch it like anytime. Not that I do watch it all the time.
Yeah, what the hell?
But like just the fact that it is like, I just love the way that it sits with me after I've seen it.
Yeah.
And it really haunts me. And I love Sans Soleil. And in a time where World War III is trending quite often on Twitter, I feel like this is kind of relevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are my initial thoughts.
Beautifully said. I agree with everything that you just said. It's a great film.
Yeah.
I love the still images. I think it's a really cool way to tell a story. And like you said, economical. Like it comes from like they didn't have the money. But it goes to show you that you can tell any scale of story with what you have. You just have to use the resources available to you.
Absolutely.
I think the still images in this kind of bring you back to being a kid, like looking at a picture book.
For sure.
And it kind of taps into that same thing. But I think what it does too is it lets you fill in the gaps.
Mm-hmm.
So because you don't hear them on their date, right? When they go to that museum, which is one of my favorite sequences in the movie with all the taxidermied animals and stuff, it allows you to fill in their date in your head.
Yeah.
What they talked about, what they did. But the fact that you just get the still images and the music, it's pure cinema.
It's beautiful.
I love this movie.
Yeah.
It's, I think, too, a big influence. You mentioned, I'm surprised you even mentioned the David Bowie video. Absolutely. He has like he even has like the thing on over his eyes in the video and stuff that they use to time travel. But I see a big influence on someone like Don Hertzfeldt, where it's too, like, I respect Don Hertzfeldt so much because he's a one person team. And it's like, okay, I want to make these movies with these grand stories. What can I do? Oh, stick figures. And he makes it work. And there's something about these artists that are able to tell these grand stories because this is a big story.
Yeah. I mean, there's time travel.
Yeah. And I think if Chris Marker can do this with still images, no one has an excuse.
I agree.
No one has an
but I
excuse.
think it's just such a different time. Like in Chris Marker's day, like that was like a time of like experiments and like, yeah, just pick up a camera and do something and it'll look beautiful. And like, we just don't have that anymore. It's kind of, I don't know. It's
experimentation is not really encouraged now.
Not encouraged. You can't really go far with it. Like this movie's on the Sight and Sound list. Like this is a 30-minute movie that landed on the Sight and Sound list.
Well, Unshin Andalou is like 17 minutes.
Right.
And that's on there too.
This is told with still images.
Yeah.
Like it's something completely different than any other movie on the list.
I think to tap into something you just said, I think today we have movies that are off the beaten path and kind of weird, but they often are cut from the cloth of a previous sort of movement.
Sure.
Where it's like, I think of the first thing that comes to mind is like what Yorgos Lanthimos is doing or whatever, which has been done before him. And that's kind of the stuff that's like pushing a little further these days when, yeah, back then you're right. Like anything goes, like anything you can come up with, you can do. And if it works, and people are going to embrace it.
Right. But in today's day and age, you have to submit to a bunch of festivals and you have to pay $100 every time you submit. And you won't get accepted to most of them because the people who get accepted know the programmers. So like that is the problem. That's the problem here.
Are they even going to watch your movie?
No. And if even like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard making shorts. Like as someone who just made a short, it's really hard and is planning on another one. There are so many things that I'm trying to avoid and mistakes and trying to step back and look at it from a perspective of like literally a programmer and how does this work and how do short films succeed?
Which sucks, right? Because you shouldn't have to be thinking that way.
So that's how Chris Marker made this. He didn't have to think about that. He just did his thing. And he won this Jean Vigo prize.
He had a vision and he executed it.
Right. Like,
and this is
also there were less filmmakers back then. Like it's all, there's so many different reasons why this succeeded the way it does. The fact that it is amazing, absolutely. It is absolutely amazing. That is not like, I'm not trying to dismiss that. But there are also all these other things to consider.
Yeah. I think you're right too. And I think it's the kind of movie that's really impressive and beautiful on its own, but I think it plays especially well for filmmakers and aspiring filmmakers because it does show what's possible.
For sure.
Have you seen the Gilliam film, 12 Monkeys?
No.
So it is fully...
like a remake.
It is fully a remake and an expansion of this.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. It's never been like my favorite Gilliam, but... and it's a little more genre-y, and it's not told through still images. But it has the same basic structure and everything.
Yeah. And also just this idea of like, oh, humanity's dying. We have to send someone somewhere to find the salvation. Like that's Interstellar, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. It's been a while since I've seen
space,
that.
But
yeah, in 12 Monkeys, it's a virus.
Yeah. Or like even this is so silly. Did you ever see X-Men Days of Future Past?
Of course.
It was good, right?
I've seen all the X-Men movies.
That in that movie, aren't they like sending I I guess Wolverine back to kind of, because the world is destructed, so they send him back in time to stop something
the
from
70s.
Nixon, and I don't remember the details.
Yeah, I don't remember the details of the plot, but he goes back to the 70s.
To stop someone from doing something. So
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like it's such a core sci-fi thing of like, humanity is going to die unless we go in time or we travel somewhere to find the solution.
Yeah, like that idea that the solution is not in your time. It's in another time.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
And speaking of time, this film is about time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think it just asks really like timeless, pardon my pun, questions about, can we ever truly go back to the past? Because all those other movies, it's kind of like they do it and it's like, it mostly works. But this one is very much just like, this one is very much like, can we ever go back to the past? Are we ever going to be comfortable in the present? Is it bad to live in the past? I don't think the movie's saying it's bad. I think it's just warning us of living in the past too much. But then again, the present was bad too, so it kind of justifies it. But then he has a chance to go to the future and he still chooses to go to the past, and that is his destruction.
Yeah.
So,
although he's still stuck in the past as a kid. When he goes back at the end, he's still a kid, but he just sees himself die.
Right. But his conscious self dies.
It does?
Well, yeah.
Why?
The person, he said, the man whose death I witnessed was my own.
Yeah.
So that kid is still alive.
Yeah, that kid is still alive.
He has no idea, though.
Oh, right.
I don't think the kid knows.
I got the impression that at the end he goes back to childhood and he's in his child body again and then witnesses it. But now he has the context.
But there are all those shots of him as an adult running and then being shot.
Yeah.
So he's not in his kid body.
Well, there's two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Prisoner of Azkaban when they go back in time.
Yeah.
But there are two Harry and Hermione.
Yeah, exactly.
But the ones in the past don't realize that they are there.
I think the first time it happens, because he has these memories from when he's a kid, right? Of seeing this guy die.
Yeah.
He's not aware.
Okay.
He lives his whole life as this adult.
Yes.
He has these experiences. He goes backwards in time, forwards in time, and then back to his child body. Then he witnesses this guy die again, but now he knows that it's himself.
As a child.
As a child.
The child knows.
And now he has to live his life too through as a child, unless they pull him back.
I wonder if the child knows.
Wait, isn't the whole thing at the end that the people from the future grant him, like, they're like, oh, okay, you want to go back to this time, like you're permanently back? Or can he be pulled back into the present?
Permanently. That's why they had to go back and kill him.
Right.
We're just making up all these laws.
Well, yeah, because there can't be two of them.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, he got to live the rest of his life.
But I don't think that child watching is the one that's like, I realized the guy I saw.
Oh, I think it is.
No, I think it was him as an adult saying, oh my God. It's as he's dying, he's like, oh my God, that's what I saw. It's me.
But if his his present consciousness is transferred into the body of this child.
But it's not.
But it is, right?
No, when he's running and when he's shot, we see his adult body running and being shot.
Yeah, but he's currently in... See, this is why these movies are so complicated to talk about. He's currently, though, in... His consciousness is a kid.
No, his consciousness is his self. He, as an adult, asked the future people, hey, I just want to go back in time and be with that girl. So he lands there. Oh my God, I'm looking for the girl. Oh my God, yeah, this is Orly. This is that memory I have. Sees the girl, gets shot. Oh my God, this is what I witnessed. His kid self is over there waving, hey.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Shit.
It's the time turner thing.
Yeah.
This is a time turner thing.
Yeah, that's from Azkaban, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
But also it just raises this question.
So he dies.
Yeah, but it asks so many interesting questions about like childhood and love and innocence, and like the past is never going to be as good as we remembered it.
Yeah.
Right? Because the whole time he thought as a kid, like, oh, I just saw some guy die. And now as an adult, when he goes, he's like, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really sad.
Oh, of course.
It's really sad.
Yeah. And he died so that his child self can still live.
Sure.
Which he's not inhabiting. but it's his own memory.
Not inhabiting, but now that he's set the space-time continuum,
right?
What happens to that kid?
Grows up and does the same thing.
Grows, but it has to, right? Because all that power plant, it's a power plant they give him, which I don't understand how they can give him a whole ass power plant.
I don't know.
Saves them post-war. War's still gonna happen,
right?
But it's just that post-war. So he is dead, yeah. He should have taken the future people's offer. By the way, I love those things on their foreheads.
Yeah.
Those Legos.
They almost look ridiculous. The movie kind of pulls it off, but it's almost laughable.
I like it. But yeah, they offer him, they're like, hey, we want to save you. Come to the future. And he's like, nah, I want to go to the past.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice.
The things on their foreheads, though.
It's like, I can imagine there was like the last thing they were shooting. And they're like, okay, how do we make these people look futuristic? Just glue something to their forehead.
I love the moments where he goes back because he's a prisoner, right? And he's underground, and then he starts going back. And at first, it's like it's kind of weak, the connection. It's like a real cat, real birds, a real bedroom.
Yeah.
I love that part.
Yeah.
And then he meets the woman, and it's unclear how he meets the woman. Not that it matters, but it's not like he's sent the first time to Orly Airport. That's where he meets her. He just happens to walk upon her on the street. Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
But it is so dreamy and like mystical and mythical that it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I didn't think about that at all.
But it's a beautiful story.
It is. It has that like intangible quality to it, fable-like quality, mystical.
It doesn't feel sci-fi. It feels like mythology.
And I think it's the images too. It's like the way of doing it, like pictures, makes it feel more kind of timeless.
Yeah, yeah.
And kind of trapped in this bubble.
Right. And black and white.
Yeah, the black and white.
Yeah.
I think that helps a lot. Actually, if this was color, I don't know that it would work as well.
Yeah, I agree. It is interesting that they're like whispering German though. Like that's the only dialogue is like these scientists being like.
Because you watched the narration is in English, right?
I watched that one, yeah. Did you watch the French one with subtitles?
No, I watched English because I have the disc that has this and Sans Soleil on it. And it was in English. I was like, is this supposed to be? And then I like went to toggle it off to French. And then a thing popped up on the Criterion disc that was like, oh, like Chris Marker wanted people to listen to it in their native language. And I was like, okay, great. So I just kept the English on, which does a good job. But you're right, the whispering's in German, which leads me to believe that it's unintelligible. Like maybe you're not supposed to hear exactly what they're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
So, because even if you're watching this movie in French, you're not going to understand the German.
Right, right. What's interesting though is that like this was made pretty like Cold War time.
Yeah,
and, like
right in the heat of it.
It's interesting that it's German that they pick. I mean, of course, like France was really traumatized from the occupation and everything, but it is interesting that like he chose German again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forever the villain.
Always mad at them.
It's funny. I've heard that it's very easy to become a German citizen now. Or basically since the war, because they're just like, please come into please. Like we're good people. I promise. Come in.
Oh man.
I love too. There's a way that when he first goes back, the images kind of pulse because before that it's just like a slideshow. It goes from one still image, hard cut to the next still image.
That's what I mean. Like it's slow.
It pulses.
Yeah.
And it makes it feel even dreamier and
yes.
I love that.
Exactly. Let's
It's
talk
more
about
fleeting.
Yeah.
Like the cat, like you said, all that stuff.
Let's talk about the shot that actually moves.
Why would you want to do that, Jackie?
I had a feeling listen, it's pretty much my favorite site too. But we have to talk about it. So I love it because it's unexpected. And that's what I'm saying. Like he must have shot that whole he had the camera for a whole day. There's no way he got one shot.
Yeah.
So the fact that he made the choice of like, I'm still gonna do stills and then it's gonna come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so special, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's really the centerpiece of the film to me. Like
it's subtle too.
Exactly.
It's very
like
subtle.
This is the moment that moves. This is the most like real cinematic moment. It's just like her in bed. Like,
and she looks directly at the camera.
It's so lovely.
Looking into the soul of the viewer.
It's so lovely. And she kind of smiles and then the heart thumping. So it's birds chirping really
Which
loud.
Which is your favorite?
I fucking hate birds. But I think it works really well.
Yeah.
I love this moment so much that like I like the bird chirping. Because then it cuts immediately to like heart thumping and scientists looking in his face.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. It's really, really, they capture that moment well. It's hard to capture those scenes where it's like someone in bed with the sheets kind of half over them and stuff. And to make it feel genuine and kind of ethereal, like the way that this movie does, and not have it look ridiculous or like someone just looks like their hair is mussed and like, you know.
For sure. And I think it does have to do with like, it's still image and then still image and then still image. And then she moves.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. I think most people, if they were going to bring one scene of this life to life, one scene of this film to life, like where they were going to, you know, turn into film, it would be the scene where he gets shot at the end.
I was going to say at the end, yeah.
They'd be like, you'll see that happen. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. It's like, the fact that he chose just her looking into the camera in bed, like that's the perfect choice.
So good.
Yeah.
I know, but I want to know what else he shot. I really do.
You'll never know.
I know. But yeah, the museum scene is great.
Yeah.
That is the French Natural History Museum.
Okay, I was going to ask, have you been there?
No.
What?
I mean, why do I need to? I'm all the way in Paris. I'm going to go see stuffed animals.
Stuffed animals? Jackie, what the hell?
I'm not like, I've been to the Natural History Museum in New York. Super, like, it's cool.
Yeah.
I don't need to go to a natural history museum everywhere.
Can I just say,
I go to.
I love the Natural History Museum in New York. It is so fucking cool.
It is really
It is
cool.
enchanting. It is it's like this movie. It's another time and place.
It is. It is.
I loved that. That was one of my highlights of my New York trip.
It's really cool.
But this one looks so cool and almost like these grander rooms and everything. I loved that whole section of this movie because there's something about, he has this line and I don't remember exactly what he said, but like he calls them like ancient beasts or something like that.
Yeah.
And the fact that these are things that are not in his world anymore. Like he doesn't know it. There's like a hippo, there's giraffes.
Yeah.
These are not part of it. There's a shark. He's never seen these things in real life.
Yeah.
Well, maybe when he was a kid, right? But he's been living for so long without them that going back and he's just surrounded by them. It's just a beautiful visual thing.
Definitely.
And it's as easy as just going to a museum with a fucking camera.
No.
With a still camera and just, you know.
I know.
It's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Just making sure there's no one in the background of any of the shots.
Right.
Oh, wait, maybe there are some
I
people.
feel like sometimes there are.
Yeah, okay.
Did you notice he says a line though, something about like she is dead? Like he realizes while he's with her that like she's dead.
Right, yeah. Yeah, she didn't survive the...
But how does he know that?
I don't know. That's kind of one of those things too that I just like took.
Yeah, yeah. And then what about the images of like the rubble where it's like the Arc de Triomphe toppled and then like the inside of what I think is Notre Dame
right
completely destroyed. How did he do those?
Oh, it's some early days of Photoshop stuff. There's people who specialized in kind of like mocking up photos and drawing over them and removing parts, and
that must be where he spent all his money on.
Yeah, probably, because those shots sell the movie.
Yeah, they are impressive.
Because I think without some of those, and you're just supposed to take their word for it that like it's now in this like collapsed state.
It wouldn't be
like,
the same.
It wouldn't be the same. Yeah,
and also the music is really dramatic at that moment.
Yeah,
like
choiry. It's so funny because I'm actually doing a rewatch of The Last of Us right now, season 1, because season 2 is about to premiere.
Yeah,
and this like very nicely ties in. You know, I mean, this is
the
art house version.
Yeah.
You know, there's really something to be said for something that's like 30 minutes long, because you can fit it into your life, your schedule.
That's what I mean. It's like whenever you want to watch this, you can.
Yeah, if you want to have a profound experience in 30 minutes, you put this on.
Yeah.
It's as easy as that.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be more complicated.
I know. Yeah. Should we do Sight and Sound?
Yeah, do you want to do Sight and Sound?
Yes.
What's your favorite sight? Well, I think we're the same.
The thing is, like, I found that the sights and sounds were really matched together.
Yeah,
with
mine
this
is
movie.
combined too.
It's combined. It is probably like her waking up and the chirping,
That's
right?
mine.
But then also I love when he talks about the bedroom, the peacetime bedroom. Literally just him saying
Yes.
a peacetime bedroom.
Yeah.
And seeing that like very simple bedroom.
It's right before you see the cat and stuff.
That is
right?
like one of my favorite shots and sounds.
That's so good.
I know. Because the concept of a peacetime bedroom, I think, is just so beautiful. Because it's something we take for granted, right? Like, we have beds. We have bedrooms.
Not me. I sleep on the hard floor.
But I think it's just a beautiful, all of those, a peacetime, what else does he say?
Several times. The peacetime this, absolutely.
The peacetime bedroom, I think, really hit me hard.
Yeah.
So another shot I really love, not combined with the sound, is when she lifts up her hair and he's looking at the back.
Oh, I love that. Yes. That was almost my favorite sound.
Like, I want to frame that in my house.
You should.
Like, I'm going to print that and frame that in my house.
Do it.
Because it's just such a beautiful, detailed human moment. I just love it so much.
Yeah. Agreed.
In a movie where a lot of it is like the images are beautiful, but it's very much like, okay, at the museum, and now they're at the tree looking at it. Yes, the moments in bed are intimate, but like that is also another like intimate moment out in the real world that I really like.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's combined for me. It's the sight in bed. It's the scene in bed.
Yeah, so good.
But he's a little bit of lead up narration too. So we'll play that and then the transition into the birds chirping and everything. So here it is.
She welcomes him in a simple way. She calls him her ghost. One day, she seems frightened. One day, she leans over him. As for him, he never knows whether he moves towards her, whether he is driven, whether he has made it up, or whether he is only dreaming.
So amazing. That narration is so good because it gives us so much with so little.
Yes.
Like, it is just poetry, and it's like now you're looking at images. Like, and it's not images of them together, by the way. I don't know exactly, but until we get to the bed, is that just all set over the bed? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just does so much with so little.
It really does. It really does.
Like, you don't need a plot. You don't need characters talking.
No.
You can just have a narrator talking about feelings.
Narration's a bad word for some dumb reason in most script writing classes. But I'm very pro narration. It's just another way to tell a story. It's another way to convey information. Because without it, you have Christopher Nolan like vomit exposition dumps where it's just like, oh great, we could have just had a narrator, come over this, but it's a bad word.
I don't think Christopher Nolan movies are movies that need narration.
I think they do, because if they did, you could gracefully set up the world much quicker than just have all these scenes of characters expositing to themselves and each other that take up so much time.
Narration in Oppenheimer?
I don't know. I don't remember a lot of that. I'm sorry. But no, I mean, we don't really get it now. It's rare. It's rare. And people need to bring it back.
Yeah, I remember how much we loved when we did our housekeeping episode, the narration in that.
Yeah. Oh. There's so many. Goodfellas, which we're going to get to on the 2022 list. Beautiful use of narration.
I've always loved narration.
A lot of films use it really, really well.
Yeah, Y Tu Mama Tambien is like the best narration of all time.
Oh my God.
All time. I love it.
It's really good.
Yeah. Love it because it has nothing to do with the plot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it does, but it's very much just like, it's very much its own thing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, we would normally do Pauline Kael here, but I could not find a Pauline Kael. So I don't know when this kind of went into wide release. I think it kind of remained this like
it was aired at like several, and it has been ever since it was made at film festivals, like kind of sporadically.
Yeah. So no Pauline for this one.
But it is fascinating how this movie became so famous, like a short film. Truly.
Yeah. We, over the years, there have been a wide number of short films. I mean, we've covered a few of them on the podcast so far, like Enchaîne Andalou, and even La Talente, I think, was almost like straddling short and feature length. And then there were a couple others that are maybe like 40 minutes. Actually, Jean Vigo did that one conduit.
Yes, yes.
Whatever that's called. That was like remade as If.
Yes.
And that's like also 30, 40 minutes. I feel like there are these number of like really, really iconic.
That like breakthrough.
Yeah, exactly. But I think too, it's what you said. It's like when this was made and stuff. I think you're right. If this is made now, people just ignore it because there is no market for shorts, unfortunately.
I would also like to point out that La Jetée, spelled like in French, in a certain way with certain accent marks and everything, means there I was.
Oh.
So it is a pun. I forgot to mention it.
Wow. Now we turn to the lovely people at Letterboxd to see what they have to say.
Someone wrote, hands down, the most mind-bending 29 minutes you'll ever spend. It's not mind-bending. Like, that's not... and they're complimenting it, but, like, it's not meant to do that.
No. I have one, it's 5 stars, and it just says, images as a means of storing memory, cheating time, and rewriting history. Bafflingly simple and poignant.
Nice.
Absolutely.
I agree. Someone gave it 4 stars and wrote, simply put, an exercise in sci-fi existentialism of time travel and on the concept of morality. La Jetée is a film that's in essence a montage, one that depicts through powerful still imagery and an incredibly short runtime of 28 minutes a man's sense of purpose and love, all amidst the backdrop of what can only be described as a vivid inspiration for a wide array of sci-fi to evolve in this medium. Yeah, that's just a really well written.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm having a hard time pulling for this because everyone is just very philosophical on here.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate to some degree, but it's hard to find.
Well, here's a great philosophical one. It's just half a star. It says, would rather cheese grate my nips off than watch again.
This one's good. 4 stars. I will remember these images in motion. Most are not.
Yeah. This one just has a heart, and it says, La Jetée is quite possibly the greatest short film I've ever watched. Through haunting still images, it does what cinema often struggles to achieve in hours, which is compressing a lifetime of emotions into fleeting frames. Every photograph pulses with longing, like a man's desperate need to reclaim a moment, a love so vivid it transcends time, and the crushing realization that the past can only be relived, not changed. So good.
That is beautiful.
Well said.
I'll end it with a 1 star. Decent PowerPoint show, I guess.
I have a 5-star review that says Sight and Sound have made it their mission to find the most obnoxious movies and put them in the top 100.
Oh my God. We should frame that, and that should just be our
It should be.
That should be our new poster or something.
I agree that a few of them have been obnoxious.
Like what?
Like the one we just did, Histoire du Cinema, and Gertrude, and a couple others. Honestly, and Pierre LeFou for me, and Contempt, and a couple others.
What other Godards are there?
We did Breathless, which I like.
Breathless also won the Prix Jean Vigo.
Oh, okay. 2 years before this, I think.
Yeah. For the feature.
Oh, okay.
Because there's a feature prize and a short film prize.
Oh, nice. One more, 1/2 star. This one, at least the person tries to articulate it here. As a short prose story, cool. As a comic book, fun. But this short film, in quotations, opted for the most fucking boring approach I can possibly imagine. It's like a PowerPoint was narrated by a lethargic baboon with Alzheimer's and the concept of spoken words as a second language. I hated every second of this pretentious, monotonous, boring, goddamn bullshit art with a fiery passion. My eyes grew numb to the point of near sleep, kept up only by the pain of my seat that I had no choice but to focus on.
Oh, God.
When the credits rolled, I wanted to jump out of my seat, scream, run around, and punch somebody, preferably the director.
Oh my God.
I've seen
it's a good review, honestly.
You get a lot of 1-star review or 1/2-star reviews that are
just
if you like this movie, I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna line everyone up in a room that likes this and just punch them and kill them, blow them away. I'm like, okay, sure,
So funny. But you know what? That's why I started my initial thoughts saying, like, I just want to be clear that I do see this as a film. This is a film.
Yeah. There were a lot of reviews that said not
There's
a film.
PowerPoint. This is a slideshow, blah, 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 which is not the case.
PowerPoint? That's just like the most dismissive thing you could say about this movie.
I know.
And if like that's your reason, so basically you're saying that if you're throwing the PowerPoint at this, you're saying that a movie can never be still like told through still images. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because you have a problem with the form.
Yes.
And not the content necessarily. But the problem is these people probably have a problem with the content, not the form.
Right.
But they're using that as a cheap way to get at this movie, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
Well, this has been La Jetée. It's a masterpiece. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
Also, I mentioned Don Hertzfeldt earlier. If you haven't seen his series of films called World of Tomorrow, I believe he's done 3, and you like La Jetée, or if you like those movies and you've never seen La Jetée, I think they go hand in hand. If you haven't seen them, check them out. Highly recommend World of Tomorrow 1, 2, and 3. They're like 20 minutes each, but especially the third one gets into some really beautiful territory. And it's done in a similar way. Again, I think that Don Hertzfeldt is cut from the same cloth as Chris Marker in terms of innovation or whatever, and doing with what you can with your limited resources, but also the way that they're able to tell these sprawling stories that are full of emotion and heartbreak and lifetimes of sadness and regret and all these things, and tell them in like 20-minute movies. Mm-hmm. So highly recommend World of Tomorrow if you like La Jetée and you haven't seen it.
Yes.
But I think that's going to do it for this week.
Yeah.
Next week is our final film on the 2012 list.
Crazy.
It is Ugetsu Mizoguchi.
Oh my God.
So come back for that. Until then, I'm Greg.
I'm Jackie.
And we'll see you then.
Bye.
Seen and Heard is an official podcast of the Arroyo Film Club. If you want to drop us a line, you can find us on email at hello@seenandheardpod.com or on Instagram @seenandheardpod.